Several thousand workers rallied in the Bangladeshi capital to mark Labour Day. They're demanding capital punishment for those they hold responsible for the deaths of more than 400 in Dhaka's Rana Plaza clothing factories. But on Europe's high streets, shoppers are still spending in the likes of Primark, one of the retailers whose clothes were made there.
Hopefully they'll do something about it. Hopefully they'll take responsibility. But unfortunately I have to shop where I can afford to shop at the moment, so unfortunately it's a double-edged sword.
Personally, I can't afford to buy any from other shops. That's why I'm buying from Primark.
Duty-free agreements with EU markets and low wages have helped develop Bangladesh's $19 billion a year industry.
Bangladesh has one of the largest clothes manufacturing industries in the world. It makes up around 80% of the country's annual exports. Much of that makes its way into Europe's shops. Now the EU is considering trade action against the country to pressure the authorities into improving safety standards.
But the EU would need the agreement of all member states, and that could take more than a year. Germany is the main EU market at $3.4 billion, followed by the UK at $2.13 billion. Spain and France follow closely behind. Many now are questioning what the incentives are for improvements in the industry. Alongside Primark, retailer Bon Marché, which has over 200 stores in the UK, says its products were made in the building, while Spanish chain Mango has said it planned to obtain samples from a supplier in the complex. Italian giant Benetton admitted a link with one of the firms in the building, although it says this was a one-off order. Brian Roberts is a strategist at Kantar Retail.
A lot of these big retailers, are public listed companies. They are answerable to their shareholders and it's their duty to maximise profits. And a number of the big retailers have said that for them to take on the role of monitoring and of auditing factories and of upholding regulations would be hideously expensive, would lead to lower profits and, importantly, for higher prices for consumers. So, one can argue that these are profit-making organisations, and should it really be their responsibility to make sure that standards are being kept up?
Canadian company Loblaw, Ireland's Primark and the UK's Matalan have already offered compensation to the victims' families. And around 45 companies, including Gap, H&M and Walmart, have met with the Bangladesh Garment Manufacturers and Exporters Association to discuss worker and plant safety. But as times remain tough in developed economies, shoppers show no signs of turning away from cheaper clothes.